Hello, my friends. Welcome to the 10-Minute Book Talk, where best-selling authors talk all things bookish with you for 10 short and sweet minutes. I'm Marie Bostwick, and my co-hostess today is Rachel Linden. That crazy and wild Katherine Reay is off having adventures without us, but you know what? We don't care because we're here with Kristan Higgins, and we're talking about her fabulous, fabulous new book, Out of the Clear Blue Sky, which I could just talk about this book. We don't even need to have Kristan here, honestly, because I could talk all about this book for a whole 10 minutes and probably an hour and a half. I've loved it so much, but I am known for going on. So Kristan, tell us about your book, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, ladies. You can go on for all time. I actually had an interview with Susan Elizabeth Phillips last week, and my internet died, so she just carried it for me, and it was probably better that way. So, Out of the Clear Blue Sky is my 22nd novel. It's a beach read, women's fiction, funny, poignant story about Lily Silva, a certified nurse midwife who lives on beautiful Cape Cod. Her son is going from Wellfleet, Mass to Montana for college, and she's bracing herself for this. He's her only child, her beloved miracle boy, and all of a sudden he's 18 and going off. The night before his high school graduation, she surprises her husband saying, "We're going to go to Europe, and empty nesting is going to be great. We've got this." And he informs her, actually, there's someone else, and I'll be leaving you so I can find my joy and my happiness. And she's Melissa. The other woman is much younger, very beautiful, and disgustingly rich. And Lily's world just shatters. It's her marriage, which she thought was just fine. It's home life as she knew it, motherhood as she knew it. And then the extended family. She's very close with her in-laws, the holiday traditions, the wonderful family gatherings that she's always brought together are gone. The future is going to be different. The past is going to be different because she'll have to look back and say, what else did he lie about? How long has this been going on? Was there anybody else? And so she's heartbroken and she's shocked, but she's also furious. And for me, that's the fun part of the book. She is furious at the injustice of her husband saying, our marriage wasn't good, I've decided, and I'm going on to something much better. So Lily decides she's got nothing to lose. She's not going to go high when they go low. She's going to go lower. And she has a lot of fun with that. And of course, over the course of the book, she will grow and change for the better and find out that some people in her life that she thought were not particularly, caring or close to her, in fact are. She forges some new relationships, and I had a blast writing it, and I'm really happy with the feedback I've been getting from readers.
Okay, that sounds too much fun. So I have not had a chance to read it yet, but now I'm going to put it on the top of the stack because how can you not? That's the premise is fabulous. I'm curious. I know that when I was reading the description, it talked about that Lily, the main character, is a midwife. Mm-hmm. And I'm just fascinated with that as a profession. What kind of research did you do to bring that to life in the story?
Well, I always try to go to the pros when I write a character who has a job that I've never had. So I went to, my daughter worked at a hospital. I happened to know someone who worked at the hospital who put me in touch with a certified nurse midwife. And she met me, and I asked her a bunch of questions about what's the difference between a nurse and an obstetrician and a certified nurse midwife, and what is your relationship with pregnant mamas like? And she was fantastic. She talked about how her job was to empower women so that they can have a healthy pregnancy and delivery, whether it's a C-section or normal birth, water birth. She always says, our first goal is a safe birth. What we want is a healthy mother and baby. How that happens, we don't know, but usually it's a natural procedure with a midwife. Then I watched a million gruesome and delicious videos on YouTube. You type in live labor graphic, and there's plenty of people who are willing to show you themselves spread from east to west with a little head coming out. For a couple of scenes, I went to a medical school website that I don't know how I got into it. I hacked my way or faked credentials, I don't know, something like that, and watched some of the more complicated births in the book so that I would know what a midwife might do in that moment. So it was a lot of fun. And then my daughter became an L&D nurse, so she was helpful too. Yeah.
So if you're ever stuck on a highway and someone's giving birth, you are going to be their best asset.
It's like a bucket list, item. I'm just, all I want is to deliver a baby and save a life, preferably in the same moment, right?
Sure.
That's all. Is that so much to ask?
Well,
And now you watch YouTube videos, so you're ready.
I'm always eyeing pregnant women. Like, don't worry, I'm here. I've seen a lot of YouTube, so I got this.
And I have a set of forceps and a catcher's mitt in my trunk. It's going to be fine. Yeah. Well, gosh, I love this book so much. It truly, friends, this book has it all. It has all the feels. If you're wanting to feel the feels, this is the book you need. It is so hilarious. I'm not giving anything away because this opens with Lily heading off to her soon-to-be ex-husband's house and the evilly beautiful, calculating, soon-to-be, his new wife with a drugged skunk in her car. That's like on page 1. So so it's off to a rollicking start, and I am a little afraid, she gets up to a lot of shenanigans in exacting her revenge. Quite frankly, I'm concerned to be on the bad side of you from any time now on, because I think you could do things to me that
I feel that fear is just and deserved.
I think so.
I do, we writers, we're imaginative people, and we think about what we might want to do in a situation, but like we could never do it because we're mothers or, upstanding members of the community, or just don't want to get arrested. Sure. But Lily does those things. She said she's babysat for half the police force and went to school with the other half. So she's fairly confident that if she maybe breaks the law a little bit, she can talk her way out of it.
No, and people are on her side too. There's just, the characters are all richly drawn. The writer part of me was studying how you do what you do. It's funny, it's entertaining, but on every single page, you are adding to the layers of that characterization. I know a little more about Lily with every single page and every scene. It's just, writers, or if you want to be a writer, you need to read this and study it. But something else that really hit me on here, and you alluded to it a little bit, and you and I are kind of contemporaries, we're of an age, and you really tapped into those feelings that women who have invested so much of themselves in a career, sure, but also really in their family. Lily is going through this empty nest thing where you I had the feeling that probably you were maybe tapping into some of your own feelings of that as you wrote this story. Yeah. Tell us a little more about that.
Right. So I did. I opened a vein and just bled all over the page because, I loved raising my kids. I loved them as babies, toddlers, little kids, middle schoolers, teenagers, 20 somethings. But when you're a mom, you are the center of the kids' universe. You are the all-powerful, wise, loving mom who can make everything right and who shapes them so powerfully. And then all of a sudden there's a day, and they don't tell you when it's coming, but there's a day when you're done, and they'll always need you, but they don't need you to run their lives anymore. They don't need you to tell them, am I making the right decision? Should I do this? They don't really need you anymore. And I think there's a line in the book where it says, your child never stops being your beating heart, but it's not mutual and it's not supposed to be. And they move on down the highway of their life, and you just stand there and watch their taillights and hope they come back to visit sometimes. So it was very, very much taken from my own life. My daughter got married last year, became a mother in March, and that's been so wonderful to watch her evolution as a wife and mother. My son just finished his master's program and will be moving out west. And so, there's a lot of my own pride and joy and heartache in this book about that conundrum that your job is to raise your kids, not keep them. And your reward is that they leave. Damn it, Marie. Now I'm gonna cry.
No, I mean, I just think this book taps into the female experience in so many powerful ways. There are just like we could have you on for an hour and talk about the themes of, you know, of sisterhood and family and the way women give of themselves and do not always have that paid back. Sometimes they do, and there are great rewards to it, but there's also sometimes great pain. This book is, you know, it's a romantic comedy, but it is so much more. And so I want to if I could give you a standing ovation, I would.
Thank you.
I just think it's wonderful. I have many more questions, but I know we're running short on time. So I have a very important one to ask you. And it's the same question we ask everybody at this 10-minute book talk. Kristan Higgins, writer of Out of a Clear Blue Sky, what is bringing you joy today?
Oh gosh, well, you can see that I'm sitting in a beautiful place, my deck, the woods behind me, the sky is blue, it's gorgeous weather here in Connecticut. But when you ask me that question, the first thing I think of is my grandson's fat little cheeks and how I get to kiss them. I've got a 3-month-old grandson. Oh, thank you to the princess and her firefighter. He, you know, all the cliches are true. He is, you know, the love of my life. And I didn't know that I was missing him until he was born. And I'm like, no, I know why I was put on this earth, to be his grandmother.
Oh, that is delightful.
That is so wonderful. Well, we adore you. We thank you for spending time with us. This was so, so great. And thank you, my friends, for joining us on the 10-minute book talk. Be here every Wednesday because clearly we've got the best authors, the best books right here on the 10-minute book talk. Follow us. Don't miss a single episode, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.